Tell me what it's like. Tell me the sort of things you've seen and had to put up with.
So we ourselves haven't actually had that many major issues. The problem is I've looked around me, and for my neighbours, there has been black mould, catastrophic floods, loss of heating and hot water, and it's just not good enough. People lived through freezing conditions before Christmas with no heating and hot water, with Pinnacle saying they couldn't fix it for 5 days. Now, if you've got a baby in your house, that's simply not okay. You're also not allowed to go and seek help yourself. You have to wait for their engineers to come to you. So you're literally trapped in a freezing home. And then for those who've had catastrophic floods, there have been 4 houses in our area. So out of about 100 houses, there have been 4 catastrophic floods. It's just crazy. And it's really impacting people's lives.
Has this got a lot worse recently?
It seems certainly the waits for engineers and the system has got worse since April last year when the contract changed. So new contractors who were unable to have enough people in the contact centres. So calls go unanswered for hours. And there's also a disconnect between the call centre and then those carrying out the repairs because you have 3 different providers. So it's certainly got a lot messier since then. The second thing is that the contract itself changed. And so loss of heating and hot water used to be dealt with within a maximum of 24 hours. That has now changed to 48 hours, not including the weekend. So your boiler can break on a Thursday or Friday and you won't get it fixed until the following, perhaps Tuesday or even Wednesday in some cases.
So what actually happens when you ring up and try and report something?
First of all, you're waiting for, in some cases, hours. I've had neighbours who waited for 3 or 4 hours with no heating and hot water with children in their home. So you're waiting for hours on the phone for somebody to answer. When they do answer, they don't know when an engineer is coming to fix your problem because that bit is provided by a different contractor. So there is no join up between the various providers. So you might not get through. If you do get through, they don't know when you're going to get an appointment. If you phone them again to check on progress, they have no record that you've called before. So you have to start all over again. The whole system is chaos.
What's sort of the worst example you can give me that you've seen? Because, I mean, you've been a military wife for quite a few years.
Yeah. So the worst example I've seen is over Christmas. There's a family here who have been living in a Premier Inn for a month because they suffered a catastrophic flood. They had been warning for months about black mould in their home, not necessarily knowing the true cause, and because nobody comes to investigate, that then became a catastrophic flood, which could have been prevented. They lost loads of possessions. They lived in a Premier Inn over Christmas. They caught pneumonia and they also got married during that period. So for their marriage and for their Christmas, they were living in a Premier Inn. It's just horrendous.
What do the MOD need to do, in your opinion? It might sound like a silly question, but they've acknowledged that there are issues, but what do they need to do now?
So there are 2 things. They need to look at whether the contract is being honoured in the first instance, because I think even our examples show that the providers aren't living up to what they've said they would in the contract. So they're not able to answer the phone in good time. They're not able to provide engineers and support in reasonable time. So that's one question. But then secondly, they have to look at the contract itself and whether all of those clauses are really adequate to give service families the homes that they need. For military families who are sent from pillar to post every 2 years or less, they're on a different posting in a different part of the world, the home takes on an even more important role. And so it means they want somewhere that they can feel safe and secure, and their possessions really matter to them. So when these issues happen, when they lose their possessions because of floods, or when they don't feel safe and secure in their home, I think it's even more serious for military families.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.